Evening, people, and welcome to a late night show.
TikTok,
N-
TikTok,
Man,
TikTok,
be quiet, be
TikTok,
quiet, be
TikTok,
quiet.
TikTok.
Oh, you're
I know it's
happy,
Friday
man.
night, Abby. I know it's Friday night, but you're still at home and you're still sober, so calm down. But you know what, guys?
I'm
I'm
not sober. Yeah, I'm
absolutely,
not sober. I'm not sober. But yeah, we'll carry on. Let's go.
I'm absolutely knackered. I just want to put that to you guys. If you want to host tonight, then please, I would really
No.
appreciate it. I actually played football today at 7 o'clock, five-a-side.
Listen, this
And I
ain't Michael Aspel. This is your story. We don't care if you played
Keep
football
going
or
now,
not. You know.
Keep going now, Keep going now. I know you've got your new cap on today. I actually like it quite by the way.
Like it.
So
Hey,
yeah, like it. But that
Yeah,
doesn't
typical copycat. Yeah, every time I do something, you have to copy me, man. I started
do-
wearing a cap, man. Must start wearing a cap now. Take it off, man. I know you had a
and
hair transplant a couple of times. Take it off.
and then I played at 9 o'clock as well. And now you know what how I feel like? I feel like Nabi Kaiti. Nabi Kaita. Aches and pains and bruises and picked up knocks. The thing is, I like a challenge. I like a challenge. Gene will tell you, Avi. I like a challenge, and but the thing is, I'm too old for it now, and I pick up bruises and knocks, and I come back, and it takes me 2 to 3 days to recover. But anyway, I don't know what we plan tonight, but I think we're gonna have a bit of a late night gap shop. It was supposed to be yesterday. I think it was supposed to be Wednesday as well, but our impromptu chats keep getting cancelled. But it was an emergency yesterday, and thank you very much for the guys who messaged us for just to check in and see everything was okay.
Let me just address some people. Yeah. Let me just address some people in the crowd.
You go for it.
Ali A, who's followed me around for a couple of years now. Yeah.
He's
He's
a
not
good
my
lad. Yeah,
biggest
to go
fanboy.
easy
He's
on
my
him.
biggest fanboy. Let me speak. He's my biggest fanboy, yeah. Avi's crying because Juden Mount isn't coming. Like, where have you heard that they ain't coming? Where have you heard that it's definitive, that it's confirmed that Jude Bellingham will be a Real Madrid player? Where have you heard definitively that Mason Mount has signed a Chelsea contract or is going to Manchester United? Where have you heard this rubbish? Yeah, I know there's other content creators you follow, Ali. Yeah, but don't believe the gup. Yeah, just
Uh,
stay on it, sabr kar, and
Avi,
keep the
1 second.
patience.
1 second. David Ornstein mentioned it, so I
I
thought
don't
to
care
give
who
just to
mentioned. I don't care who
David
mentioned it.
Ornstein. Yeah.
Let's wait. Let's wait till the season's ended. Let's give Dortmund that respect at least for them to complete their title quest. Yeah, let them become the champions of the Bundesliga. Then we'll talk next week. The Ornsteins and the Joyces and the Fabrizio Romanos can pipe up then. Until then, right? It's hearsay. Okay. Same with Mason Mount. We'll talk about developments anyway. I'll take over from here, Asim, because it seems as if you're nursing more than an injury, son. Um, first this week we've heard talks
Oh,
of McAllister. I think we are both, the three of us. I think we're all inclined to say that Alexis McAllister will be a Liverpool player. Gene, are you in the same camp now? You believe that that deal now is sort of rubber stamped and we can move on to the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
target?
Yeah, I am. I'm happy with that. Happy with the deal. I love the play, so I can't really complain. That deal, I think everybody knows. Loads of credible journalists has come out and said that it's more practically a done sort of deal, and we're waiting for that to sort of once the season finishes, that'll hopefully get completed early next week.
Asim?
yeah. Look, all the journalists have been making noise. A few of the local journalists in Argentina have said it's more or less near over the line. And interestingly enough, McAllister, he hasn't been starting for the last 2-3 games. I don't know exactly how many he started, but he has. I have seen him at least a couple of times on the bench. Maybe we can read something into that where they're thinking, you know what, we have to protect him. He's got a deal on just going over the line, or it just needs to be confirmed just as we enter, next month and once it's over the end of the season. So interesting that he hasn't been playing for Brighton recently. He's been coming off with a few cameos on the bench, but it's good news for us. I just hope that little hug from Guardiola was him just admiring a technician. He likes these technicians in midfield, and it wasn't one where saying, "Hey, Putter, I'll see you in a couple of weeks in Manchester." So, but I'm very confident, and I said it, guys. I said it where McAllister, I think, will be our marquee signing this summer. Can you
Wow.
confirm that? Can you confirm that? I did say that.
The show's just started. 5 minutes in, you want me to
Yes,
start
it's
confirming
started.
marquee signings or not? Yeah. If you want me
I
to
know it's
confirm whether
started.
he's a marquee signing, might as well end the show then.
No.
Also, Asim, can I see your two hands?
Why?
Can I just see your two hands?
Go on there.
I don't need to see Gene there. All right, so put them like this.
Oh, no.
No, put them like this. No, Asim, trust me, just trust me. Trust me,
Just
it's
do
nothing
it.
bad. No, not near your face. Just put them up like this. So you know it's not a prank. Listen, a 30-second appreciation for Saj, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do a
30
clock.
seconds is too long. That's
Are we,
good.
are we going to do
Asim,
it?
can you please hurry up, Asim?
I'm not going to give him a 30-second. Flipping hell.
Yeah, that's enough, man.
The
That's
show
enough.
will be.
Can everyone in the comments please
Yeah,
wish
what the hell,
Saj?
man?
Can everyone
happy.
wish Saj?
Oh,
Can
it's
everyone
happy
wish
40.
Yeah, man.
Saj a
Oh,
happy
yeah.
42nd birthday
40th.
today? Happy
Happy
42nd. 42nd.
It's my
40
40th.
class. 40 class.
No,
40
happy
class.
birthday! Listen, Saj is like a big bro to us, and whatever he says, we go with. He is the rule maker, but he's a great gem of a bloke. So happy birthday to Gene, Saj to everyone else, and Gene to me and Asim. So happy birthday to him. Happy 42nd birthday.
This was going to be my question to Gene. Gene, how does it feel like? How does it feel like being part of the 40 club?
To be fair, Asim, I don't really. Listen, I've never really cared about numbers, but I think when I hit 40 today, it actually felt like what? I'm getting old, man.
Abi,
He's still a looker. Don't worry, Gina is still a looker. Don't worry, Gina. You're still a looker, Gina. Don't worry about that.
Maybe we're getting accused of BNR for being too loyal. Maybe Gene's surplus to requirements is so much.
Happy birthday to Gene. Back to business. I should have said that at the beginning of the show, but we were just all over the place.
This guy.
Mason Mount. I tweeted something before Ornstein broke the news. I said that we're definitely not going to be paying the 60, 70, 80 million that Chelsea may be asking for. I don't believe that's the figures. I also don't believe what Ornstein, unless United have really come in this week and all of a sudden shown him some kind of structure or some kind of project, and he's turned face and said, no, I don't want to go to Liverpool anymore, would absolutely shock me. I still believe we were, up until Monday, Tuesday, the front runners for Mason Mount. He's made it clear that he wants Liverpool Football Club, but I think we've let him know as well that we won't be paying above 45, 50 million. I think that's right. I think that's the correct stance. It ain't a stance that FSG should be criticized for, or the club for, or the strategizing team when it comes to these business deals. I don't want to be paying over 45 million for Mason Mount. Asim and Gene, are you happy that we could walk away from this deal if it goes beyond stupid numbers? Gene?
Okay. I'll be honest with you. Mason Mount and Jude Bellingham, they were probably our two targets that we wanted at the start of the window. And especially you've mentioned, we've been, sort of chatting to these guys since, well, especially Mason Mount since October. If they're your first number two targets that you wanted in this window and you miss out on both of them, that's the problem. Regardless of the fee now, right? Regardless of the fee. If the fees, let's say they wanted, we paid 40 million for Ox 5 years ago and he had 1 year left on his contract. So if we're going to pay 5 years later, 55 million for a Mason Mount, age of 24, final year of his contract, I'd pay it because I think Mason Mount on the right hand side works. He's a player that I like and I really want him. Yes, I would never pay the 70 million and the figures, and anything above 55, I will not pay. If United have come in and now the bid that we've been told is around 55 million and he wants United. If he wants United over us at 55 million, then that's an issue because we've just lost Jude Bellingham. The reports are coming out that it's money. I don't believe that crap about money. Why? Because 87 million is the 87 million pound is the money that's been said all over Twitter. 100 million euros. That's 17 million more than Alexis McAllister. If we're not willing to pay 17 million pound more for a player that we've basically tracked for over 2 years, we've basically bypassed our last 2 seasons in terms of signing midfielders. That is a big issue. That something is not right, mate. And if we're not willing to pay the money for these two number 1 and 2 targets, that's a problem in itself. Me personally, I'd go up to 55 million for Mason Mount.
Everyone sort of split on Mason Mount, and I think the consensus is that everyone is split on Mason Mount. Some are saying that they love him in the team. Some are saying that he's a Klopp player. Some are saying no, they're not sold on him. Some are saying that he's lost a bit of form and he's not the right fit for us. Jimmy Khan's comment here: Mason Mount will not improve us. He can't get into a rubbish Chelsea team. He's been injured, Jimmy. To be fair to him, he's been injured for the best part of the last sort of 6-7 weeks. Asim, what camp are you in? Are you in the camp that he would fit us? He is a Klopp type of player, and we know that he's hardworking, he's progressive with the ball. He would fit in that sort of advanced 8 position, and vying for a place alongside sort of like a Curtis Jones, McAllister. What's your opinion of him?
Look, as a player, Abby, excuse me, I really like him. Mason Mount, I think, look, in terms of what we need in that right-sided role, he's flexible across the line. And we have to see our main player in the attack is Mohamed Salah, and we need to finish the attack with Mohamed Salah. And if we're going to be sort of led to believe this system is going to be the system that we're going to carry on, and I think we've seen the clues. The last 7-8 games, Jurgen Klopp has mentioned as well that we need time on this. Van Dijk has come out and said we're working on this system, we're enjoying it. So the cogs in the midfield that are missing at the moment is Mason Mount on that right-hand side. Curtis Jones has shown signs that he could be a player. McAllister is going to be the starter in that position, coming from the 8 to the 10. Now, going to the other side in Mason Mount, what he brings is a footballer who's technically gifted, he's comfortable in the 8 and receiving the ball in the 10. So he fits the system, but he also fits the system that we want him to play, in a Henderson role as well. He's comfortable going out wide, making sure Salah is in the narrow position, receiving the ball between the left back and the centre back as well. So he ticks all the boxes. And Mason Mount, he might not be elite on the ball, I get that, but I think in terms of contributions in his, I think, best season again with Chelsea, I think he got around about between 7 to 10 goals. And
it was a 10-10 season. He got 10 assists, 10 goals.
There you go. Now, he might not get that at Liverpool, I understand, but his average, I think he should be able to get 7 to 10 goals and between 7 and 8 assists as well if he's playing well. But what he does give, he's elite off the ball. I saw an article about him a couple of weeks ago, and in terms of his cover shadowing, his pressing and everything like that, in terms of off the ball, he is elite. And what we've seen, especially early parts of the season, at Liverpool, in terms of defensive transitions, are not good enough. What he will give us? He will give us protection on the ball, as well as someone who's comfortable receiving it. And a lot of people saying, look, he's not good enough. He's only been brought into the squad because we need to tick the boxes in terms of homegrown. But there is a price and there is a line. But I'm with Gene as well, that if you've sounded out and we've heard this word, groundwork, from many, many people, and I understand you have to put your the hard yards in tying up deals. Sort of deals get done overnight. But it sounds like it's a bit of a mess in the background at the moment, where we're not sure which way we're going. We're looking for smart deals. We're looking for bargains. And you're playing a dangerous game, because even Klopp mentioned today that some players were happy to wait for 6-7 weeks. I understand that. And Liverpool are in a desperate situation where we've left this situation where we're without, midfielders at the moment. And this is why maybe it's a tactic from Klopp coming out and saying, you know what, it's a bit of a toning down the sort of situation where if we get quoted a price, we're happy to walk away. But it's a dangerous game where you need to make sure you've got a list of players that are on the short list. But my worry is maybe the first and the second choice are Liverpool quality. But what about the number 3, the number 4, the number 5? And soon you're going into areas where you think, you know what, are these guys good enough? And some of these names, let's be honest, I've not even heard of them. Honestly, I've not even heard of them. But it's a dangerous game now. And I don't want a situation where we come into the end of the summer and we think, you know what, it's panic time. And then, we have the situation of, the sporting director, 3 months. Why we giving him a bit of an audition? Is it because the investment that's coming in? There's so many factors that are going to affect our summer, and it's critical time. And I don't want to be scaring everyone, but we're in a sort of a junction at the moment where it is going to be decisive as which way we go.
Look, Avi, I've got a question for you, Avi, before you go.
Yeah.
Look, I was actually asking, in terms of Klopp's comments about the 6 weeks, it was baffling to me personally because we're a sort of club that like to go out and get our business done sort of early, right? Especially this season because I thought, we'd bring them in early, it gives them some of the players bedding in time into this squad. Klopp coming out with them comments about waiting 6 weeks. Avi, I wanted to know what's your take on that in terms of waiting 6 weeks for players when deep down, look, okay, I know 6 weeks isn't be all end all, but that's not the Liverpool way because I was expecting a few to come in early. Okay, McAllister will probably happen, but generally speaking, what's your take on the 6 weeks?
Look, I think Asim made some great points, and I'll come to you, Gene, in a minute. Asim, just coming on that, I think there's already questions that are being asked of this transfer window before it's even opened. I think that's always a worry, especially the size and the magnitude that this football club runs itself. We've been so immaculate in previous seasons and in previous years when it comes to player signings and acquiring the right players. Last season, the transfer market, we kind of got our business done early. The Carvalhos, the Ramseys, those were kind of sort of pre-agreed before the summer opened. The Nunes deal got done very early, and we left ourselves short yet again in terms of the midfield, and we got in Arthur Melo. Now, I saw Klopp's interview today. He said a really good piece on the youngsters, and then he said a separate piece on Carvalho, which I didn't find anything. There's nothing wrong with what he said. He said he's been training great, this and that, and people will say, then why hasn't he been given a chance? I totally understand that point of view as well. The 6-7 weeks, Gene, yeah, that's not ideal because in 6-7 weeks we'll definitely be on our way in terms of preparation in our pre-season. We always like Jurgen Klopp, especially likes to have his players in. Signed and delivered before before people report back in, before the players report back in for training. So we're gonna have to just take his word for it. And it sometimes is, look, we can do all the groundwork we want on some players and we can always agree terms, but football's a fickle world. It can change overnight. We may have said to Mason Mount, we're offering, and it's just a scenario like, look, we'll pay up to 250 for you, 270, whatever it is a week. I'd have come in with Champions League football now. They've said, listen, mate, we can offer you 350 a week. And it might just be that he fits Ten Hag's model and he wants to go there just for extra money. Football changes overnight. And we've known that, we were probably 2 months ago, we were probably lauding this signing of Jude Bellingham. We were probably, all three of us were thinking it's a done deal. I think most Liverpool fans thought it was the best kept secret in football, but it obviously wasn't, because now there's talk of Madrid literally on the brink of confirming it once the Bundesliga season is over on Sunday. So let's see. Do you two believe that we've got at least one, possibly two deals wrapped up in June, like the first sort of 2 weeks in June? Do you believe we will confirm at least McAllister and one more, or you believe just McAllister for the time being? Jin?
Look, I believe that it's probably it's difficult, Avi, because look, McAllister. I think, let's face the music, is probably one that we think is going to get all line pretty quickly. In terms of the other deal, I'm not too sure because yes, we're hearing names. There's obviously Thuram, Inacio. There's so many names that we're hearing. Gravenberch, I think that's going to be the long one. But there's so many names that we're hearing. I looked 4 weeks ago. I thought Ugarte has got a release clause. I thought, you know what, he's a player that we were linked to. I know there was a lot of noise coming out of Uruguay at the time or whatever. And I thought, you know what, that's probably a deal that might get closed pretty quickly. But no, look, fast forward 3 weeks and he's off elsewhere because some other club has met their release clause. I just think right now I can only see McAllister, if I'm honest, and I think that will probably be the first deal probably in the next week or two that will get confirmed. The rest right now, Avi, it just seems like every single player that we're sort of going for, there's always an issue. There's an issue, and I know people in the comments have mentioned Timber and other names, but I've not seen anything concrete in terms of Timber or anybody, like any credible journalist come out and said, right, he's a player that we want to go out and buy. I've not seen it, so I can't see it, if I'm honest.
I think just on and I don't want to talk about Gravenberch because I believe there's nothing that's happened with the Gravenberch. Yes, he's liked and whatnot, but there's been no bids for Ryan Gravenberch. If anything, there will be talks between Gravenberch and Thomas Tuchel and Bayern probably next week. But there's been no official bid from Liverpool for Gravenberch. Jurrien Timber, from what I've been told, again, this is not my source or anything like that, but the information that's been sent to me is we've definitely talked. We've definitely been talked with Ajax. Gene, look at Gene laughing in it, as if he's trying to ridicule my news. Typical of Gene. We've definitely talked to Julian Timber,
Is it?
and let's see where that happens. There was another player I want to swiftly move on because I did tweet it last Friday that a bid for Kepfren Churam did go in. It was 50 million. I think it falls slightly short of what Nice want and what Ineos, Jim Radcliffe wants for the player. But I would keep a very, very close eye on that Kefran Churam deal. He's a player. There's been talks that we've spoken to his father, the great Lilian Churam. Let's see what happens with that. But I would really, really keep a close eye to talks of Kefran Churam to Liverpool.
To be fair, Avi,
I think
you know
with
what?
that, I think with that deal, I think we'll go above 50 million as well. I think we'll offer a little bit more.
Asim, to be fair, to Avi, he did mention Turam to us. He did mention Turam. I'll give you credit for that one.
Avi, do you think is these sort of reports have come out because we've changed direction? Is it because we don't think Mount giving sort of Chelsea around 60, 70 stupid amount of millions to them for a player that we value around about 40, 45 million max? Do you think we've just changed tack now and gone Kefren Turam where we think we'll get better value?
Yeah, and I think that's fine. We can't be fixated with one target. Yes, we want Jude Bellingham. Yes, we know that he will take us to the next level. But if Dortmund are asking for the money, and if we believe that the costs involved, player agents being Jude's dad wants a cut of the fee, and he wants this much money, and other agents want some money, then we're probably right to walk away. And it doesn't sit right with me. It shouldn't sit right with any Liverpool fan because we've courted the player for 2 years. Now, all of a sudden, to say that he's not feasible or it's not tangible to obtain Jude Bellingham, that's the wrong direction. Champions League football or no Champions League football, these owners need to stamp up. That's the first thing, Asim. They need to provide the funds because when we were in the Champions League, when we were winning the league, the Champions Leagues, winning the World Club Championships when we went to Qatar and win it there, we still didn't spend. So we've got to spend something. There needs to be a timeline. There needs to be something now tangible where we've got to spend money. Because we're not spending money now, then when will we spend money? And that's when we need to push. We need to push against the owners and say, listen, either shut up, put up, or walk away. Walk away. Because
the narrative has already started, though.
Sorry?
The narrative has already started.
The narrative will start, but like I said, if McAllister, if we're going by McAllister being a done deal, and that'll be confirmed as soon as Sunday is over, Monday, Tuesday. Apparently, his dad Carlos McAllister will walk in. That's a good start. I would say that's a great start to the window. A 60, 70 million pound player in, but it shouldn't stop there. And he shouldn't be the marquee signing. This football club shouldn't be saying that McAllister, as good as he is, as great as a World Cup he had, he is not a marquee signing.
Yeah, but Avi, he
is
is
a
the
marquee signing.
signing.
Jude Bellingham is a marquee signing. A Caicedo is a marquee signing. It's not. McAllister is not a marquee signing.
He is because 70 million you paid for the size.
Forget about the money. I'm talking about he's not a household name for me. 6 months ago, if you said to me that we were going to get McAllister, I still would have been underwhelmed.
You're not going to get
a good season.
You're not going to get a household name on less than 70 million, are you? You're going to have to pay 80. We're not going to pay 80 million for any other player.
Caicedo isn't more of a house name.
He's more of a complete player than McAllister.
Yeah, but would you call him?
He's the creme de la creme. No, Caicedo is creme de la creme in my eyes. He's a level above McAllister. You're not telling me that they're on par. You're not telling me they're on par.
Not technically.
No. Give me Caicedo for 80, 90 million. I'm ready to. I would want this club.
Caicedo. No. Caicedo is more combative.
No, I think we probably think that we need Caicedo more. That's why we probably want to go for Caicedo more than anything personally. I love McAllister and I've loved him since that World Cup. He's one player that I've always wanted. But I said, Avi, 1 second, Asim. You mentioned 70 million pounds as another player that we're going to go and spend money on. That's a household name. You're talking 80 million plus then, aren't you? And if Jude Bellingham's going for 87 million and we're not willing to pay the money for a player that we've wanted for 2 years, you're living in cloud cookies if you think we're going to spend another 75 million on another player.
I think it's easy saying it's 87 million for Jude. I think it's a lot more than that. A combined deal is probably reaching up to 130, 140 million for Jude Bellingham. And this club may feel that it doesn't want to part that much money straight away. It doesn't want to part that much money with it. Jamie Carragher said something yesterday. He said that he believes that the club is going to spend 200 million. So if we're saying 65 million for McAllister, just to say 65 million for McAllister, that gives you
200
130.
million, 200 million gross, though. I don't think the club are going to spend 200 million net.
It's got to be 200 net. No, sorry, I don't care about gross and what comes in and
What
what
do
we
you
give
do?
out
Come
or what
on,
we sell.
man.
It's
They're
got
Already the narrative's already out
it's
there.
got
They're
to
struggling
be.
fight
It's
the world,
guys,
the
both of you.
Champions League
Listen.
and all of that, man.
I'm in the same position as you guys, but it's got to be 200 million off the bat. We are not. We can't be chasing shadows this summer. We cannot. We simply cannot. But anyway, moving on.
I would
Jeff,
be just a last thought on that. I would love Liverpool to spend 200 million off the bat, to use your term. But I think if you're going to spend 200 million, then there will be at least 50 million in terms of sales. I can't see Liverpool spending 200
but
million.
if it's sales that need to be done at the football club, if it's sales like, I don't know who's on the peripheral right now. Say Joe Gomez leaves or a Matip leaves, you wouldn't be too you don't mind that. You don't want a star player going like, I know I've mentioned his name.
I don't mind then letting go of someone like Gomez if someone's gonna come in and at a similar price. We're gonna bring. I think definitely we're gonna bring a left-sided centre back just to give us a different option with Robertson on that left-hand side. But what I don't want Liverpool to do is, why should we need to sell someone like Kelleher? Why?
Asim, he might just want first team
money,
football.
man.
No. Forget the money. Forget about the money.
The money,
No,
man.
but forget about guys. Forget about the money. One second. You say why would no one minute? Asim, 1 minute. You said why would we sell Kelleher? Now all I want to say is, a goalkeeper of his quality should be playing week in, week out. He is a very good goalkeeper. We can't just make him stay if he doesn't want to stay. And if we get the right money for him, 20 million, 25, whatever it is, you let him go. You can't tell me he is content. He is content. You can't tell me he's content in play. Europa League, he's going to get 6 games minimum. 6 games minimum. That's not enough for a keeper of his age.
Oh, come on.
He's an international Irish goalkeeper now.
Allister. He's not going to get a game. He's not going to be number one. He has to understand where he is. And
he's 23. He's also 23. He's going to move. He needs to move.
Has he come out and said the narrative? Liverpool love deals like that. I'm telling you now, Avi, if they get an offer for someone like Carvalho, I know Klopp said he might go on loan. If they get an offer of 15 to 20 million for Fabio Carvalho, Liverpool would seriously consider that, because we love deals like that. We love bringing someone in for 5-10 million and making a profit on them, because it ticks all the boxes. It's a business within a business. If owners are not going to spend money, their own money, and dig deep and put their hands in their own pockets, then they need to do business deals just like that. The Kellehers and Carvalho's, and we've done it in the past. We absolutely rinsed Bournemouth. We sent all our academy to Bournemouth, and we got good money for it.
Look, Asim, Avi, 1 second. I don't have a problem, Asim. I don't have a problem with them doing that. I genuinely don't have a problem with them doing that if it meant we are going to get our number one targets. Do you understand? If we're going to go and get the players that Klopp really, really wants, if we're doing this to bring in target number 3 and 4, I've got a problem with that then, because that's why are we doing that then? Go and get, okay, if you're selling a few of the youngsters to bring in a Bellingham or a Saicedo, I think I pronounced it wrong. Somebody's already put it on the chat. Yeah. That's understandable. I'll say, you know what? The guys have gone, they've got rid of a few players. At least they're bringing in players that are going to come in with their starting 11. All this crap of selling these players, selling another £20 million player who's, let's say, 5th choice, I'm bringing in a replacement with, who's going to be 3rd choice in the 3rd sort of category. Doesn't make sense. You go and get the category 1, 2 minimum player. That's what makes sense. I can't see you spending, it's 150 plus sales, mate. Anybody thinking it's 200 plus your sales, you're telling me if we had 250 million pounds to spend this summer, we'd bring in at least 2 75 million pound players. I'm telling you, I mean, we would do that.
No, we won't be backing out.
We won't be backing out over 10 million here and there, mate. I'm telling you that now, because we've got the money then. We're backing out of certain deals, man, because the money isn't there.
That's a fair shot, and there's both great points. I think with Kelleher, I think if someone wants to bring up his appearances on the chat, or even one of us wants to check how many games he's played, it's not enough for him. He needs to be playing regularly.
I don't get this. Manchester City keep the likes of, Mahrez and these guys, and who else is on their sort of bench? Foden, Mahrez. They
get enough games. Yeah, but they're playing like 20, 30, 40 games still.
No, they're not.
Okay, how many games has Foden played this season? Google it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Google it. No, Google it. Google it. You can use Google.
Look, Kelleher should get all the FA Cup games. He should get all the
Yeah, but how many? Okay. Apart from last season, which was an anomaly because we don't go for domestic competitions, how far do you think we're going to go in the FA Cup or the League Cup? Europa League, yes, I get you. He should be
Ford
number
got
one.
28
He'll play
starts this
6.
season.
He'll huh? How many?
28 starts in all competitions.
Who's that?
Forden.
Forden,
In all
okay. And
competitions.
He was injured for a little while at the beginning of the season. Okay, that's fine. 28. He's played probably like a handful, like 4 or 5. 4 or 5 games for a keeper of his quality. He's the Irish international. That's not going to wash.
Come on, man. He's not the Italian international, is he? With all due respect.
What difference does he make if he's Italian or Irish? He wants to be playing international football, Yara.
Come on, man.
Moving on. That'll be a debate that we can talk on a later date. Romeo Lavia. I like the player. I think he's robust. He can be combative. 19 years old. I actually tweeted last summer when he went to Southampton, and we were watching him as well when he was at Man City, but that deal was never going to happen. They weren't going to entertain Liverpool. I said that don't be surprised if next summer we come in for the player. Now, I don't know of any latest reports. I'm not going to bullshit anyone out here and say that I know anything about Romeo Lavia talking to Liverpool, but reliable people are saying that we definitely hold an interest. That's a word that has always been the talk of the town every summer for us. Interest, monitoring, groundwork. Okay. But Romeo Lavia, Asim, I know you've seen a little bit of him because I know you're a big fan of Southampton and JWP, but you must have seen his, alongside his partner, Romeo Lavia. Thoughts on him on a potential £45 million deal?
Does he have a buyout clause next year?
That's in effect next year. Man City could get him in, yeah.
The amount?
Sorry?
Buyout clause?
I think it's 40 million. City could get him back for 40 million.
Okay. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've seen loads of him. But, I think Liverpool, again, do like that sort of signing where if we can get him a little cheaper this season. And look, Klopp has been talking about smart signings. And I think I read a Mo Charter's thread yesterday. And he said Liverpool, in terms of them not qualifying for Champions League, it shouldn't affect our budget this year. The revenue
it shouldn't affect our budget, man.
No, he's a good player. Florentino Luis. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool bought him in. Because look, I agree with Gene. Gene said if we had around £200 million, I guarantee you we would have. And I know we're going to disagree here with Avi, because Avi is still hopeful in terms of Jude Bellingham. If we had that kind of money, I think we would have been a lot more assertive in the transfer market. Liverpool have known their targets for a long, long time. Klopp has been talking about it for 2-3 months. He's been asked about it for 2-3 months, and he's admitted that the talks have been going good. So what's changed? Tell me what's changed. What's changed is, one, we realized this. Avi's taking his jacket off now. He's getting serious. Yeah, but Klopp has realized, and his coaching staff, that this sort of operation is a lot more serious than what they thought. And also, look, we're just not going to spend the money. And I don't care what the fans are saying. You have to be realistic. The club, I believe, are not going to spend that sort of money. And Europa League is going to affect it. Is going to affect our budget. Klopp admitted it today. And I just hope he's trying to tone down and play a sort of a game or a tactic just to tone down the desperation of Liverpool's sort of need of midfielders this summer, because we don't want to be paying inflated prices. But it's worrying why we're all of a sudden going from Mount and Bellingham to other targets. It's not how Liverpool have done business over the last 3-4 years. Liverpool were the blueprint on and off the pitch. But at the moment, I just don't know which direction we're going in.
Another question, a point I want to make, Asim, is, Liverpool, we work on a bonus sort of structure. Yeah. So if our bonus structure with our wages, we're not in the Champions League, so a lot of these wages are going to drop. Well, how is that? That's basically telling us that, we should have money to spend because we're not paying as much out to in terms of wages. So there should be money to spend. Look, I don't buy this notion in terms of what's there. We deep down, every Liverpool fan over the last 5 years, we know what sort of money Liverpool have spent. And to say that we're going to go out and spend bloody 200 grand, sorry, 200 million plus. You're living in cloud cuckoo, man. I said, Avi, I just will never. We are broke on Monday. Yeah, we're broke, man, and this is the thing, we've been broke for a while. Even when we win the Champions League, we're broke. When we don't have Champions League, we're broke. When we sell players, we're broke. We're always slipping broke. And it's the simple truth. We're not gonna have 200 plus to spend.
Just coming on Romeo Lavia, for me, it's one that potentially could get away. And I don't want that. I think he's a talented lad. I think he's a very, very good player. And he's been a shining light in a dismal season for Southampton. If it's between Thuram, and I'm just talking hypothetically, if it's between Thuram and Romeo Lavia, then of course you want Thuram. I would want Thuram. But Lavia is not a bad fallback option, if that's what we're calling it. He's not a bad player. At 19 years old, his potential is frightening. So for me, if it is McAllister
I don't
and
want
Lavia,
potential, Avi, though.
I know you want
potential,
ready-made,
man.
but listen, Gene, you know how we operate. So we can argue all we want. We want a statement signing, but Romeo Lavia coming in alongside of McAllister, that's a very good start to the window. A very good start. And I'll still want 3 in after that. But look, let's move on again. Goncalo Inacio, there's talk that the release clause now, Sporting are more willing to have structural payments for the player, so we wouldn't have to pay a straight up release clause for him like we've done with Konate. Thoughts on him? Left-sided player. For me, he's my number one choice. I know there's been talk of
Timber, man. I want Timber, man.
Timber? So you want a right-sided player, Gene?
Yeah, I want a Timber. Of all the centre, if there's a centre, if we're gonna bring in a centre back, I really want Timber. I watched him play against Liverpool. I felt as though he had everything. He can cover the right back position. He's quick on the ball. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant passer of the ball. If I had to choose a centre back, I'd go with Timber personally.
But how would Timber get into this first team?
Asim, if we need, at the end of the day, if I believe we're going to sell one of our centre backs this summer, I genuinely believe. I think one of them is going to go. And from what I've seen of Timber, and another thing why I think we're going to get him is over this Inacio guy is simply because we've got links to Holland. I think Virgil van Dijk will be in his ear as well, and all this sort of thing. He's at Ajax. He wants to. I can see what he was supposed to go last summer and he didn't go. I think he was linked to United last summer and he didn't go, and they opted with the Martinez. So I think I've got more chance that we will get Timber. I think that's one of the reasons why I probably want it, because I believe he's somebody that we've got more chance of getting. And I think if we're going to sell a Gomez, I think he's the perfect sort of replacement. And I think one of them will go, Asim.
How much would Timber be?
He's around the same sort of mark, 45, 50 million, I think.
Who's 45 million?
Inacio has a
Timber 30 million. Pulija, if we're gonna go with 30 million for Timber,
Timber's not coming for 30 million, Avi.
No chance.
Well, you don't think more?
Yeah.
You're not. So you think the Ajax are gonna let him go for 30 million?
Gine, if we're paying over 30 million, walk away. Walk away from Julian Timber if it's 30. For me, my first choice would be Inacio. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he plays a left centre back. He's got aggression, very good in the standing tackle, got plenty of strength. He, for me, would be my first choice. Obviously, Gvardiol, but we know, let's not talk about Gvardiol and what Leipzig won. You think Julian Timber, we would have to pay 40 to 45 million, Gene?
I think 40 million, you're going to have to pay 40 million for him. I don't think he's going to be any less, if I'm honest.
I wouldn't pay more.
They could have got that. I think they would have got at least 30, 35 plus for him last summer.
Inacio has a release clause of, I think it's around about 45 million euros.
Get it done.
39 million.
And I wouldn't mind if that meant Tsimikas leaving. I think we're all in agreement. If someone offers us 10 to 15 million, we're all good with that. That's smart business.
Yeah, 100%. That's smart business. That makes sense. If that was the case, I would be happy with that.
Did Tsimikas say bye on the last day of the season?
And you're the one that made the video.
Took the video. Yeah, exactly. You're asking us the question. Yeah, you took the video.
It was strange. Honestly,
I think the tears were. I think the tears could have been for Bobby, but maybe. I think the tears were obviously and he's mentioned it as well. He said this club has gripped me like no other. The fans, and he said he feels part of the family. I think it seems as if he's a great character. I think he's replaced that Lovren role, hasn't he? When it comes to his closeness with Salah. So,
the Abi role.
But I think him I think if we get a good offer for Simicast, 15 million, maybe we could stretch. I think it would be a good. I think it would be a good deal. If it means a Nasio or a Jurian Timber, I'm I'm a bit surprised about the valuation on Timber. For me, a Nasio
I just
45
thought you.
million. I would look at that more. I would look at that more.
Yeah, fair play.
Can you see us getting a left back and a right back?
No, 100% not. You got to remember. Klopp also mentioned today. Conor Bradley will definitely be looked at preseason. So he's one that can play in that right back role. He's built up a little bit. He's got a bit of like body size now to him. So let's see what happens there. Calvin Ramsey, don't know that injury that he's had and the growth issues that he's had all season. He's gonna need time to come back. But look, guys, it's been a 40-minute.
No,
40
I want to
minute.
speak about one more player.
Yeah, go on.
Kudus, man. I want us to buy Kudus, man. Please.
Who?
What a player. Mohamed Kudus.
Oh, Ajax. Kudus. Okay.
I want us to get Avi. That he is the kid that I want. I've all the from what I've seen of him. I saw him at Anfield and the few clips that I've seen of him and at the World Cup. This kid has got something about him, man. And if you can get him around 40, 45 million, this kid, he's a bargain. I'm telling you, he is a bargain.
I promised myself I was going to be nice to Gene today because it is his birthday and I love him like a brother. Like literally, like he is a brother. But
here we go.
He mentioned Sofian Amrabat as well during the
World
Cup.
That was a joke. This guy, man.
Gene also said Sofian Amrabat would be a great signing for us. And it also said that Jurgen Klopp had held talks with Sofian Amrabat.
Should I open your can of
we
worms?
all know that's
Billy
Billy Bollocks.
Are you ready?
Billy Bollocks.
Open your can of worms.
Are you trying to troll someone for their
No, I'm just saying, Gene was a big fan of Amrabat. Gene actually met him at the World Cup too, I believe. Was it Gene or yourself? Gene, right?
No, I didn't meet him. I didn't.
He had lunch
Like,
with him.
can I just say something, Avi? You of all people have come on here and had a go at me for trying to be an ITK. am I actually watching this right? And I'm actually hearing it right.
But then once you're on a show with me, you're an ITK. You're an adopted ITK. Trust me. You have nowhere to run.
I don't want to be no ITK.
You have nowhere to. No, I think Mohamed Kudus. It's gone a little bit quiet. I just have a bad feeling there may be already a deal where he's gone to a club and it will be announced. I think there's not enough talk about him. So I think maybe that deal, maybe he's going somewhere already. I know they were sniffing, buying after the World Cup was sniffing for Mohamed Kudus. So let's see. Let's see where that takes us. But
the theme that we're gonna, whoever we bring in this summer, I think the theme, the word, they need to be adaptable. They need to be versatile because I think we're going to be changing systems. We're going to be changing setups. And I think the coaching staff recognize this, and you see it with McAllister, comfortable in many positions. The centre backs, whether it's Timber, he can drop in right back.
Look, Moby Axe just come into the comment and said, Julian Timber is indeed 45 million euros. I believe we have walked away after finding out. Hi, everyone. Bro, come on, man.
I believe we have walked away after finding out.
Did I not say
I hope that's the. I hope that is Moby. I hope that is
Moby.
Moby.
It's the real Moby, by the way, yeah? If it's the
Is it
real one.
Moby?
Moby will be back maybe next Friday for the last Across the Pond show for the summer.
Send him the link. See if you can come in for 5
I could.
You can give
Moby,
him a exclusive.
No. Actually, I won't, and it's not because of Moby. It's because Moby's only exclusively agreed to come on Across the Pond. Only agreed to come on Across the Pond. So it is Moby. It is Moby. So
Avi only wants the hits for his own show.
Hey, listen, I negotiate well, Asim. I negotiate well. But listen, guys, before we wrap up, last game of the season, Southampton, plenty of changes. The likes of Harvey Elliott, I think will start. I think Fabio Cavalli will get a start. I think Jones will get a start.
Avi, he's an exclusive. We've got scouts at Saints on Sunday watching Ward Prowse.
You're laughing. I don't know why you're laughing. I don't know why you laugh. But just a quick one. Gene, Asim, a lot of changes. Southampton game. There's nothing to play for now. Europa League football it is for next season. I'm sure you two will be going to the likes of Bratislava and Dubrovnik next season in your Europe travels. Get
As
that
long as
passport
the
stamp.
games, one
Get
of the
those
games
passport
in
stamps,
I'll be
Potter. Get those passport stamps. And trust me, you're not gonna go on a Jolly Boys outing, Gene. You're gonna have to go there and back, there and back, there and back.
No, I'm kidding,
But
guys,
just
man.
Southampton game. Asim, Gene, just a quick comment on it before we wrap up.
I mean, to be fair, I've not before you go, I've not really thought much about the game. If I'm honest, I think this week has simply been about who's going to sort of come in, and especially with this loads of news in terms of transfers, with McAllister and the rest. I've not really paid much attention to it. But yeah, Asim's going down to the game on Sunday, so he'll be.
No, it's a dead rubber. It's a dead rubber. I don't want to do that 6 hours, but look, I will do it. I will go to Saints as long as you guys do the red zone on Sunday.
No, I think what we need to do is we could do a watch along, Asim. I don't mind doing a watch along with you on Sunday. We could all three of us do a watch along for the game. I don't mind that.
Like Southampton away.
Yeah, we could talk about it. It's up to you. I'm sure we're gonna see some players that may not be with the club anymore. A final farewell. Obviously, I think Bobby may start. Gomez, Matip. I think there'll be. Wow, that looks as if it's a.
Sure, many. We didn't mention him.
I know Moby doesn't say things for the sake of just saying things for clickbait, but that could be some news. Tuchemani will depend on if he pushes. And we know Tuchemani doesn't seem as if he's happy at all at Madrid, but that is something to keep an eye on. Maybe Moby's telling us. But
three players of interest in Southampton. Avi, are you sure you're not flipping Mobiak on the comments today?
Three players of interest in Southampton.
Well, Romeo Lavia would be one. Bella Ketchup could be potentially another.
And
James
Ward-Prowse. Or Livramento, right back. Kyle Walker-Peters. But guys, that's a wrap. Sunday we'll be back at the end of season. We're going to be doing the awards. Me, Gene, and Asim will be giving our first awards of Born and Red to the players who's been,
I've got a special award for Avi, by the way. Well, I'm only going to mention it on the day.
Keep that. I want a trophy, by the way.
We should have an
you're gonna get one. I'll say, man.
ITK of the year. ITK of the year. But, we'll be giving some. It'll be a fun show on Sunday. We'll do a little bit of a post-match transfers, and this transfer show will probably be on the weekly, once or twice on the weekly. We'll try to do a daily 15-minute if Gene can brush up on his hosting skills. Otherwise, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Plenty of content coming your way this season, and we're on our road to 5K. So please like and subscribe, and see you guys on Sunday. Thank you.